Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. So today we are going to explain about the intro ID user provisioning feature. This is a new feature that Microsoft introduced in intro ID. So in this video, we are going to check and demonstrate the user provisioning to Active Directory on-prem through the API and then sync it to intro ID. Actually, we can directly provision user into intro ID as well. But as a majority of the HR system or companies, they have Active Directory on-prem, so we decided to show how to provision user on-prem. This will be a basic video of preparation and provisioning the user. We will record more videos about this. We will explain how to add user to different groups, user governance, and access to the resources on-prem, as well as high availability and other features like how to extend the Active Directory schema, sync it to intro ID, and use the custom attributes for the user. As I said, this one just covered basic features, and after that we will record more video about more details. Thank you. So in here, as you can see, our HR system is going to manage our users. So to do this, we need to export our information to a CSV file, except we have some HR system that they have connector to Intra ID. This list will be expanded by Microsoft very soon, but for now, it's very few, and it is just for now, it is two service provider. I will show those service provider later. So for most of the scenarios, what we need to do, we need to export information to a CSV file and then push that CSV file to our intro ID API, and then it will provision user into the Active Directory on-prem and AD Connect sync the user to intro ID. And after that, we will provide access to the user, add them to the proper group, or through the dynamic groups, access management packages, we will manage the users and complete this cycle. So I'm going to show this, and let's start. What's this one? All right, to do this, we need to log into Intro ID Admin Center. We need to go to the application, Enterprise application, and create new application. And here I want to mention Intro ID can provision users in many applications. These are the box. You can do your custom provisioning as well, but for some of the applications, SaaS application, it's a built-in features. As you can see, the application with this icon, you can provision users. For example, Adobe, Adobe Identity Management, you can do this. In the box, you can do this as well. So, in here, we will search for API. This is for API-driven provisioning to intro ID directly, or this one for provisioning user to on-prem AD. Select this one and put a proper name for it. Test A. Great. So the application have been created. So one of the important things that we need to copy it, and we will use it later. It's object ID. We need to copy it, but for now, let's go to provisioning and go to provision. So our process will be automated. Let's select this one. Get started, just link to some Microsoft guides about this. And in here, we have a list of our domains in here. These are domains that are connected via AD connect to our intra ID. So for example, this is .local, this is our local on-prem ID. So this is our domain, it's connected by intra ID. So let's go to our domain on-prem, find it. It is idem3 net.local. So I'm going to select that one. And in here, we need to select a distinguished name of the OU that we want to provision users in it. I will show you in another video how we can customize this for more OU, not provision in one single OU. So just here, find the distinguished name. I want to provision users in here. Distinguished name. Copy. And in here. So we need to download the agent and install it on-prem server. This server must be domain joined and it can connect to intra ID. You can find the list of the ports that should be open to intra ID from Microsoft documentation. I will put the link in the description. So I'm going to download this one. So we're going to install the agent. Next. So Workday and SuccessFactors are the only HR system that they can provision user. They have connector to intra ID. Microsoft will expand this very soon, and for now we are going to use a CSV file. So we need to authenticate. All right, let's type the password, username password. So in here, we need to create something like a service account for provisioning user on-prem. So because it's a new installation, I'm going to select this one, create group manage service account, and type the admin credential in here. So we need to type our domain admin credential. So it will create a user for us. So in here, we need to select our domain. We can add more domain in here, but we need to install we need to install separate agent for different domain. So we need at least one agent per domain. So this is a domain that we're going to provision our user in here. No need to change the credential. Next, confirm. So this is our username, our service account. It will be created in here or already created. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's created. It's in here. Go to object and it's created a few seconds ago. So I will pause the video and I will back in a minute or two. So installation is going to finish. So this one. So let's try connection. Okay, connection is successful. Awesome. In this setting, you can uh, put your email address, and if you want to prevent accidental deletion, maybe put a number in here. The default is 500. It is AD Connect. It has 500 users, so let's change this one for now and save it. To overview, start provisioning. So looks good for me. So for now, let's close this one and back to the server. This is server that we install the agent on it, and we are going to run the PowerShell command, review the CSV file in here. This is just a basic settings and basic process. In the later videos, we will explain everything in more details. So let's open the PowerShell. So we need to run this one. Yes. Remove any rich key. It's okay. It's access deny. It's access around the ISE in admin mode. I would run it successfully. So then we need to install these two modules. I will put all of the commands in the description below. Again, we need to run it the admin mode. So they have been installed. So let's run all of the commands in the admin mode. I'm going to copy from here. The admin. All right. This is a file that we need to download it from GitHub. I'm going to share this URL as well in the description of the video. Let me browse this URL. This is a URL that you can find it in Microsoft Documents as well. So what we need to do, we need to download the PowerShell one, this PowerShell folder. Inside this PowerShell folder, we have samples, we have the command that we need to run as well in here. This is the PowerShell command that we need to run it. So I've already downloaded and copied on this computer. So after downloading and expanding, extracting the files in a folder, I'll copy it in this folder. What we need to do to run some PowerShell command to provision our users. So the first one, just mapping our attributes. So this is a basic file. This is just a basic information, and we need to check it and validate it. So I copy this one and run it. Let's check what is inside this file. What this attribute. So as you can see, there are some attributes in here. There are schemes for the users that we need to push it to Active Directory and intra ID. Let me show this one in here. So as you can see, this is that file. Later we will add more attributes in here, but this is currently the basic one, and these attributes and these are needs to be found in the CSV file that we receive from our HR. This is a file that we need to receive it from HR in this format than this, or maybe they have more than this attribute. So it's really depend on your HR system or the way that you want to import the users. So worker ID, status, worker type, and all of these things are in here. So let's follow the default one. And if I want to show you in here, sorry, wrong window. This needs to be matched with this one. Mapping the scheme in here. We will customize this later. As you can see, this is your intra ID. These are the attributes that you have. This is on-prem ID, and this is the API attribute. For example, user principal name. This is how we have it in the intro ID, and it uses default domain. And default domain usually it is your domain.onmicrosoft.com. So we will back to here and how to customize these, all of it. Same as mail, but and then we need to add more attributes in here. So let's go back to PowerShell. Then the second step, I need to validate mapping. So we need to make sure this CSV file that we have is matched to the attributes that we need to push it to on-prem ID and intro ID in here. Run it again. Respect with true means that they are matched. So all of these attributes in here are valid in this CSV file that we received from our HR. And now we need to run a command to push all of this information from here to intro ID and then AD connect. So to do this, we need two attributes. One, it is our tenant ID, which is in here, it is my tenant name. And then we need the service principal. This is object ID. So let's find this. Let's find the object ID from here. Minimize it. Object ID in here. So let's run this command. So it's run it. We haven't received any error message. There is no users in here now. And as you can see, these three users have been created. Let's check the CSV file from HR. Oh, for some reason, this is our CSV file. As you can see, this is one of our users. Second user and the third one. So users have been created. It will take 30 minutes. It depends on your AD Connect to get these users synced to intro ID. But as you can see, the email address and then the default UPN, user principal name, are not correct. We want our UPN, it's like this, and for example, for our email address, it's something like idam3net.com, not on Microsoft.com. So it's something that I will show you later how to do it. So let's back to intro ID. Usually it takes 5 to 10 minutes to see the logs. So we can see the audit logs for these users. It's a full, it's a all of the information details are in here. Let's open this one. Okay, it's nothing in here, and then provision management. So in here it shows information for this user. For this user, it's a new value because it's a new user, so there is no old value in here. So all of the information for the user, it is in here. And provisioning log usually takes longer. Okay, it's coming. So it shows successfully create this user, and all of the information are in here. Mail and other information. And as I mentioned, all of these attributes manage in here. Mapping in here, how to create mail address and all of these things in here, like user principal name and email. So this is all the information for this session. It's just for creating a user. Later we will talk about adding to the group, updating the user attributes, and more information. Thank you for watching this.